Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Well, the record run has continued on D Street. That's even on September 25. We have seen the Nifty managing to close above 26,000 mark for the first time as well and inching further higher on the intraday levels. Banks, metals, media names, these were the sectors that supported the trade. Remember, it was an entirely choppy trade and a very range-bound trade at that. But towards the end of the session is when the buying really emerged in these several pockets as well, especially the heavyweight private banks supported this move towards the end of the session as well. So we did hit an intraday high of 26,032, which is the fresh record high for the Nifty, and we ended at 26,004 odd levels. This is the fourth consecutive session that Indian benchmarks have recorded fresh highs, and the Nifty is now setting its eyes for the fourth positive FNO series with 26,000 as the key level right here. We'll have to see whether that sustains in today's trading session. Good morning to all our viewers and good morning, Shail.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the draw of an end to a fantastic rally in September. Today is the monthly expiry of Nifty futures and options contracts. The index has appreciated 1,002 points. That's 3.9%. And Sakshi points out the fourth consecutive month of gains. Will this rally continue? Only time will tell. But here is a note of caution. And that's the reason why you need to be a little or extremely careful at now levels. At 26,000 points, the Nifty is up almost 20% year to date, which in any case is an outperformance of all global indices. So we are the best performing market on a year to date basis. Now, yesterday's rally, which was accompanied by the Nifty crossing 26,000 points, has shown one negative divergence, and that is something to be worried about. Every single index, apart from the Nifty, which is the Nifty 100, the 200, the Nifty 500, the Nifty mid cap and the small cap index have shown a negative advance decline ratio. That means that smart traders and investors have used this 26,000 level on the Nifty to book gains. And if you look at the advance decline ratio in the NSE 500, which is the broadest measure, only 109 stocks rallied towards the green side yesterday, compared with 370 that were in the red. In the mid cap and the small cap index, the ratio is almost similar. 30 stocks in the green out of 100, 29 stocks in the green out of 100. So please keep this in mind. And of course, at the option chain, you see 26,000 and 26,100 being very, very strong call writing supports, which essentially means that bears have taken a stance with a very high degree of resistance in terms of call writing. Total open interest outstanding on these two calls, which is 26,000 and 26,100, is 1 crore 50 lakh as far as open interest is concerned. On the support side, you have 25,900 and 25,800, where the support is very meager, less than 50 lakhs. So you can well imagine that the Nifty, after this very strong rally, is now in a pause mode. Now, this is the note of caution that I wanted to inject in your thought process. Here is something positive. I'll request the PCR to fire the long-term chart of HDFC Bank, which is now very, very close to a record high. I think just 8 points away. As Sakshi was pointing out, it has been a very strong move yesterday. So the rollovers will be looked forward to as far as HDFC Bank is concerned for the month of October. And we shall see Bank Nifty taking charge compared with Nifty. Remember, I have been pointing this out, that Nifty Bank is an underperformer on a year-to-date basis, up just 12% compared with the 20% rise in the Nifty. So you will see Bank Nifty outperforming the Nifty in the coming 1 month. And it is also good news for Nifty because the components of Nifty, about 26-27%, have HDFC Bank, ICICI, Axis, Kotak, and SBI as their major components. So with that background in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there are two other stocks that you need to keep in mind. A huge block deal of about 19% stake sale in 5-star business finance is about to happen. The stock has done absolutely nothing for the last 9 odd months, and two venture capitalist funds, one of them Sequoia, will be selling this huge block worth about 4,000 crores. And there is an offer for sale from Ask Automotive. This is an auto ancillary based out of Gurgaon. About 6 percentage point stake will be sold by one of the promoters at about 450 rupees, which is a 5% discount. So these are the two stocks that I am watching. And of course, we'll be discussing a whole host of rollover data when the market begins on its monthly expiry today. Sakshi, what are the cues coming in from Wall Street and what are our foreign friends doing?
Right, Shail. So in the US, both the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500, they pulled back from the record high levels. In fact, Dow also broke the 4 days of winning streak as well. It fell by about 0.7%. S&P 500 declined 0.19% in trade. The Nasdaq, meanwhile, saw just a bit of gain of 0.04% odd in the overnight trading session. Following this, the Asia markets, we have actually seen mixed opening with largely markets higher in the early morning trading action. So Nikkei 225 has risen by about 2.15% now. We've also seen the broader topics index also gain by 1.2%. Kospi up by 1.8%, Hang Seng up 0.5%. The Shanghai Composite, however, is flattish with a negative bias, 0.05% of a downtick. Whereas when we look at the GIFT Nifty, that's indicating a positive start, about a 0.14% of gain. That's 26,067 is being indicated at the opening right there for the markets today. Now, of course, the geopolitical tensions, particularly in the Middle East, will be closely monitored. Remember, recent Israeli strikes have led to major casualties in Lebanon. That's escalated conflicts between Israel and Hezbollah. Although the oil prices have seen some dip overnight of about 2% amid the easing supply concerns in Libya, with the Brent crude now settling in at $73.46 a barrel, the WTI intermediate at $69.69 a barrel as well. Gold prices have slightly edged lower after hitting those record high levels. It hovers around $26.52 an ounce as well. Now, apart from this, we also see that the overseas investors, they've stayed net sellers of the Indian equities for the second straight session. FPIs offloaded stocks worth 973 crores. Domestic institutional investors stayed net buyers for the third session. They purchased equities worth 1778 odd crores. The key stocks that I'm watching, look at the pharma stocks today. They will be in focus. Remember, India's apex drug regulatory body, the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, has flagged 53 drug samples for failing to meet quality standards. This also includes drugs like paracetamol as well. So major pharmaceutical companies including Sun Pharma, Glenmark, Alchem Health Science are implicated in this quality lapse, and therefore these stocks will be important to watch out for today. Five-Star Business Finance, remember, as Shail has pointed out, holders of the company are looking to offload over 19% stake comprising 5.6 crore shares worth about 4,317 crores via block deals. 768 apiece is something that we are looking at, and this is going to be important to watch out for. Ask Automotive also, as Shail highlighted, promoter is likely to sell about 6.05% stake via OFS as well. Now, apart from this, ONGC will be in focus. The board has approved a 10,500 crores investment in ONGC Petro Editions. IDFC will be in focus. NCLT has approved the merger of IDFC Financial Holdings with IDFC, resulting in entities merger into IDFC First Bank. Vedanta will be in focus. The board has considered fourth interim dividend, and they will be doing this on October 8. The company has already declared a total dividend of 13,474 crores in this fiscal year so far, showcasing stronger shareholder returns. Also, Vedanta Resources plans to reduce its debt by up to $3 billion over the next 3 years. So that's as part of the strategy too. Cipla is going to be in focus. The company's UK-based arm has signed a pact to acquire 6.9% stake held in Jiangsu Xidi Pharma, which is a China-based unit. Post the acquisition, Jiangsu will become a wholly owned step-down subsidiary of the company. Zen Technologies will be in focus. The company has launched remote-controlled weapon and surveillance systems to strengthen India's defense capabilities. Uno Minda will be in focus. The company's arm is in a pact with Korea-based Hyundai Mobis to manufacture licensed products like speakers. SBI will be in focus. The company aims to be the first Indian financial firm to reach a net profit of 1 trillion rupees within the next 3 to 5 years, as has been indicated to media by the bank's chairman, C.S. Shetty, as well. So that's also going to be important to watch out for, Shell.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at KPR bills. This is a transaction that's happened between the promoter and SBI Mutual Fund for about, the promoter sold about 1 crore 5 lakh shares today, and nearly 97%, about 97, 98 lakh shares have been purchased by SBI Mutual Fund. 34,000 crore rupees is the market capitalization of KPR Mills. And of course, you've seen a very strong outperformance as far as this particular counter is concerned, although it has still underperformed its main consumer durables index. For a 1 year, KPR Mill has gone up by 22%, underperforming the mid cap and the small cap index. And in the 3 months, the stock has appreciated 12%, again underperforming the BSE Consumer Durables Index. So keep an eye out on KPR Mills. And of course, as I've mentioned, five-star business finance, about 23,000 crore rupees is the market capitalization. 21% of that will be sold. We'll shortly be joined by Mr. Devin Choksi, MD, DR Choksi Finserv Private Limited, and a little later, Kunal V. Parar, Vice President for Technical Research at Choice Equity Broking, will be joining us. I think Devin Bhai is with us. Namaste, Devinji. What a warm, wonderful uh, feeling that Dalal Street is giving almost everyone that is investing sensibly. 26,000 on the Nifty, 85,000 on the Sensex, and of course, a very strong move now coming into HDFC Bank, which is boosting Bank Nifty. How are you feeling? Is this a time to be little cautious, or is all caution thrown to the winds?
Yeah, good morning, Shail. I think cautiousness should be exercised in the richly valued stocks. Those companies which are showing significantly large amount of, I think I would say, stretch valuation. Those companies are the ones I think where one will have to remain careful about because I think corresponding growth in the business for those companies is not reflected into the results in the last quarter. And should it fail to reflect in the current quarter as well, then my take is that most of the positional investors who have taken the position into these counters, they may be offloading their portfolios, and that would result into price stroke time correction into these companies. So one will have to really exercise the caution on the richly valued stocks. Vis-a-vis that, the stocks which are not so richly valued and fundamentally looks, I think, very strong, but at the same time, I think on a decent valuation, particularly I think those which are there in the Nifty 50 basket, I believe I think they hold the ground for further appreciation. You mentioned HDFC Bank. I believe that is one of the stocks I think which has remained neglected for a longer period of time in the market valuation wise not very expensive. Such kind of companies could possibly show the larger growth and a further upside from the current price. So yes, I think we remain cautiously optimistic at this point of time and want to remain very selective about having these stocks in the portfolio with the quality in focus.
Very good morning to you, Devin sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out for the discussion. We are seeing brilliant moves on the markets. 26,000 is now with us. How are you really looking at the market setup from here on then? Do you think we have made this top now for this year so far, 19%? This is the best that we could have done for this year, or do you think there is more steam left for the benchmarks?
Well, good morning, Sakshi. In my viewpoint, individual stock-specific market is going to remain strong going forward as well. Maybe index level, you might see some kind of topping of sign at the current levels. Also, because of the fact that I think three large issues which are going to take away about 50,000 crore from the system, the Hyundai, the Swiggy, and the NTPC Green put together, I think is an amount I think which is close to about 50,000 crores, which is likely to get collected from this market in a span of next 1.5 to 2 months at the most. So if this is going to be the situation, then quite possible that the market may want to remain little bit careful about the further upside. Having said that, as then I was mentioning earlier, individual stock specific actions might continue, and you will see the gains in individual stocks vis-a-vis the overall market.
Devin, let's look at a different part of the market, which is languishing since the election time, and that's the PSU setup. Absolutely nothing seems to be working there. Metals, apart from yesterday's rally, are quiet in the PSU segment. Defense has undergone a massive correction. Railway stocks have been on a slow pace. Within defense, and of course in railways, is this an opportunity for sensible investors to buy beyond the froth that has seemed to be disappeared from the market? What would be your top two picks, one in defense and one in rail?
Yes, Shail, I think the price correction has happened. Maybe the time correction has still not happened. And according to me, the time correction will be slightly longer. Though the price has actually, I think, now started reflecting at least next comfortably reflecting the valuations for next 1.5 to 2 years on a forward basis in some of the PSU and the railway stocks particularly. At the same time, I believe that the time correction will be very important in this particular period because our markets have developed a tendency in this bull market of scaling up the valuations ahead of time. So most of the companies today they are quoting at FY26, even some cases FY27 results. So that is a concern, and at the same time, I think market does do a leveling job in a systematic manner. So that's where probably I think you are expected to see the time correction. At the same time, I'm a little bit more mindful about the fundamental prospects of these companies. These companies have fantastically given an opportunity by the government of India from the point of view of, I think, taking care of the expansion program, economic infrastructure development program that the country is experiencing. And some of these companies are seeing the visibility of order book for next 3 to 5 years. Having said that, I think these order books are basically getting executed at the rate of around 15 to 20% at the best rate of growth. Now, if this kind of a situation is around, then in such case, you are not likely to see the premium valuation sustaining. The premium valuations, I think, in the above 50 times price earning ratio might undergo correction. That is what my take would be. And should it come somewhere closer to 30-35 times price earning ratio on a growth rate of around 20%, I would be comfortable adding these stocks into the portfolio.
Okay. David sir, let's also talk about some of the outperformers then. Stocks like Trent have rallied over 150% this year so far. And even now, brokerage houses are coming out with fresh reports with bigger targets here. Citi came out with a report, and this morning we've seen they have initiated a buy with a target price of 9250. And they continue to be bullish on this one. How are you really looking at these outperformers? Do you think there is enough and more even to go beyond the kind of rally, and can a fresh investor, despite a 150% surge, really look at such stocks for their portfolio at this point?
So most of the values are already captured into the price as I see. Of course, I think these companies have fundamentals and they are strong. So there is no doubt about it. But in the value investing theory, we always believe that unless you have a significant amount of margin of safety, you probably, I think, do not enter into it even for a small upside. Current upside, I think, which is being talked about in these stocks, even though the strong fundamentals are there, they are largely momentum driven upside. These are the upside, I think, which are basically being captured largely for adding these stocks in the portfolio of those investors where the presence of retail business is not there. So, in my viewpoint, though nothing wrong with fundamentals, I would still remain a little bit more careful unless I get a meaningful correction in the stock price and gives me margin of safety. I would not be in a hurry to buy into the portfolio, even though the upside is being seen of around 15 to 20% from current levels.
Trent has a market capitalization of 2,70,500 crores and a top line of 13.851 crores, 13,000 crores. That's a 20% market cap to sales ratio. And a large part of this run up, ladies and gentlemen, is undoubtedly because of the fantastic performance of its Zudio business, but also from 30th of September, you see trend coming into the Nifty. That essentially means that all those smart investors who know that funds will be forced to buy this, those all who track Nifty, have already ramped up the count. This is not to say that you will not see further gains on trend, but one needs to be very, very careful in this kind of an overhyped market. A 20 times market cap to sales plus a PE of 158, a price to book of 61 times is something to be worried about when trend is concerned. For sensible investors, if you're a momentum chaser, nothing matters for you. Devin by auto space. Look at how Bajaj Auto and Hero Motors have outperformed in September alone, both of them up 13 and 14% respectively. Is this time, as far as valuations are concerned, a little worrisome for auto stocks, or given the festive demand, we will see great growth coming in stock prices as well?
So currently, according to me, for companies like Bajaj Auto, the shift is largely happening from the conventional engine vehicles, ICE vehicles, to the mixed fuel vehicles and also the electric vehicles. That is where probably I think some of the dedicated funds are putting money into this company, and as a result of which, the re-rating of these valuations have taken place. No doubt about the fundamental prospects for this business, also from the fact that the purchasing power in the hand of the consumer is systematically increasing. And that is giving a definite possibility for this kind of businesses where I think a sustained demand will continue in the business, particularly also because of the shift in the product portfolio is happening. So that will also create an additional demand eventually for them. So that one point I think I'm very clear about. They are likely to be beneficiary in this kind of a situation, particularly company like Bajaj. Second most important point which I observe in this company's strategy that they've been extremely successful with the premiumization of their products. What they have been doing, along with the increase in the size of the wallet for the consumer, they have been systematically producing the vehicles which are fitting the wallet size of the consumer by way of, I think, getting into the premiumization. And that's what is giving them the profit margin as well. And last but not the least, retaining the balance sheet cash of around 15 to 20,000 crore at any point of time is a very strong strategy that this company has been following for last 15 years or so almost now. And that's where one remains extremely confident about the current value. Though I do agree that I think most of the subject stocks are already priced in at this point of time. However, market gives correction in due course, and I think that correction should be used as an opportunity to buy this kind of company in the portfolio, particularly when you have a horizon of around 5 to 10 years in the business.
Devin sir, another space is the upcoming massive IPOs this year that we are going to be awaiting. Hyundai IPO, Swiggy IPO coming in. Hyundai will be the largest ever if it comes at the same levels that we are already looking at. And Swiggy will be the largest after Paytm in the startup category. Are you excited about any? Do you think any of these have the potential to create massive wealth over the longest time that we can actually hope to see, especially because Hyundai comes in after over 2 decades of Maruti, and Maruti has been a clear wealth creator for investors. Do you think Hyundai will have that much kind of a potential, sir?
So let us look at, I think, two perspectives, one for Hyundai promoter and second for the investors out here. What Hyundai promoters are doing today, they are basically monetizing their equity holding into this company with this particular IPO. Practically, the money which has been collected is going in the fold of the Hyundai parent in South Korea, and the money is not being deployed here for growth. For the growth purpose, whatever capital they require, I think that is already there in the balance sheet, and this company has been successful. They are profitable. So that part, I think, is not something which is getting reflected into the IPO thesis that is being talked about. Similar is going to be the situation with Swiggy. A part of money collected after 12,000 crore IPO is likely to go to the existing investors, and balance, I think, would go for the new capital which is getting into the company. NTPC Green would be one of the better choice, particularly because I think they're putting money for the growth. So this is a typical characteristic of these three companies, which are collecting about 50,000 crores from the market. Large part of the money is going to the promoters for the monetization. Now look at the opportunity for the investor on the other side. The opportunity for the investor on the other side definitely remains strong proposition because Hyundai, along with Tata Motors and Maruti in the listed passenger vehicle car segment, is one company which is going to find its presence into the portfolio of most of the funds. So certainly there is going to be a demand. The funds are going to be latching onto this particular proposition because there is a space available for investment in this particular story. At the same time, the transition from the ICE engine to the electric vehicle is also going to be spelling out a very profound story for most of the auto companies. And those companies which are coming up with the premiumization products, I think they will be beneficiary out of this particular process. So Hyundai could be one of them. Swiggy will take time, according to me, I think, for generating significantly large amount of profit compared to the market capitalization that they are talking about. Even if you assume that they come at a discounted market cap to Zomato in the listed market, still, I think making that kind of a profit to justify the market cap is going to be a tough task at the same time. And last but not the least, I think NTPC Green. It's a story for I think next 10 years of investors. It's not an immediate story. So those who are investing for flipping, I think they may not I think, want to be into NTPC Green. They may want to be with other companies first.
Right. Frothy valuations, top name IPOs, and of course, record highs are what make this market so interesting. Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, the Nifty opens marginally on the back foot in pre-open, 13, 15 points lower. Let's focus on stocks that are in the green. Tata Motors, 15 rupees higher, 979. The state government of Karnataka has also come out with a draft EV policy to provide incentives for EVs and wheelers priced below 20 lakh rupees. So keep an eye out on Tata Motors as also Ola Electric. Okay. Both the Bajaj twins, FinServ up 13 rupees 50, Bajaj Finance up 26.10. What is slipping in the red? It's IT actually. TCS down 24 rupees. You have Infosys in the green. Okay. Axis Bank is in the red, 8 rupees lower. Reliance is in the red, 12 rupees 40 lower. Hindustan Unilever is 15 rupees down. Kotak Bank is 3 rupees lower. And you have ICICI Bank 10 rupees higher, lower actually. So it's rather surprising that you see a positive on the Nifty, be that as it may. Let's look at the top gainers on NSE 500. Five-star Business Finance, 2.7% higher, 830. This is the block deal that will happen today, which is worth about 21% stake, to be sold by two VE funds. What else is moving? Sakshi Strength, 2.3% higher, 77.90. Remember, you will see the stock in the Nifty from September 30th onwards. Quest Corp 1.8% higher, 828. Easy Trip Planners, yesterday's block deal in which the counter fell 20%, is now showing signs of recouping. 1.9% higher, 35 rupees. Bombay Stock Exchange 2% higher, 39.20. These are some of the stocks that are moving in gains. A very quick look at the FNO space in terms of gains. IDFC 3% higher, 113. Okay, rest of them are normal names. I think metal remains in strength. Vedanta to discuss its fourth interim dividend today, 1% higher at 485. We'll let the market settle. Let's get back to Devon Bhai. Devon Bhai, very strong move in the entire pharma space over the last 2 months. Mids, large, as well as small cap pharma stocks have given phenomenal return. Is this space overheated? Is the valuation frothy? And if no, maybe two picks from your research team that you can share from the pharma bank.
So, Shahil, I think the profit chemistry in the pharma companies, I think, has been very systematically tweaked by many of the pharma players today. On one side, I think the complex generics, which are basically uh, fetching better realization, better value for most of the pharma companies, is something which is being followed by likes of Sun Pharma, Cipla, Dr. Reddy, and even for that matter, Lupin kind of companies. They've been systematically innovating the products and probably I think putting it to the consumer, getting the better value out of it. On the other side of the chemistry, I think they are enjoying the lower cost of input, and that is giving them a sustainable profit margin, which is fundamentally important. So even though they may not have increased the product prices big time, I think they are enjoying a higher profit margin, and that is what is getting reflected in last 4 quarters of earnings of many of the pharma companies. I don't think that this situation is changing in a hurry. I would think that I think situation will remain pretty stable for most of the pharma companies. Yes, I do agree on one aspect that I think everything that we are talking about today is also getting reflected into the price. And that is the reason for which I think these companies may not show the same amount of appreciation in the stock price which they have shown in the last 4 quarters or so. So that is a caveat. But otherwise, fundamental prospects of the business, they are not changing. They remain absolutely stable, in my view.
Okay, Devin sir, the other space that I wanted to ask you is on the metal space really, with the Chinese economy now looking at several stimulus measures to revive its economy as well. How do you think one should be really looking at this metal space which has been garnering traction from last 2 or 3 days particularly?
Uh, I think it's the reason to remain extremely bullish about metals. Uh, on one side, China factor, liquidity stimulus, protecting the economy, all those points are well taken into account. But look at the other side of the demand scenario which is emerging in the India market per se to begin with, and then after global market. India market, I think, is in a capex mode, infrastructure spending, industry spending, social infrastructure building, and I think the artificial intelligence way of working is also resulting into creating a massive amount of, I think, the IT infrastructure creation, particularly on the cloud side, on the computing side, data center side. So to a greater extent, I think this is going to result into significantly large demand for the metal commodity per se, including the constructions in the housing space, including the automobile, is only going to add further demand scenario into this particular situation. Globally, the things are not very different. They are also equally required to, I think, put significant amount of money behind the new generation of infrastructure which is required. Above, I think, the roads and rails, I think maybe they would be required to put more money to data centers going forward. So certainly, I think the metal as a commodity is going to be in demand. But what is exciting me in this particular times in metal is about the structural changes which is happening in the pricing of the energy cost. Because up till now, the energy costs, conventional energy, have been costing them around 9 to 12 rupees per unit in a given situation. With the captive units coming in from the renewable space, coming up going forward in the green hydrogen space, my understanding says that energy costs that these companies could be accounting for would be somewhere around 3 rupees per unit. So it's a one-fourth cost of what cost they have been spending up till now. And if that situation becomes reality over next 3 to 5 years, in my viewpoint, I think there is a reason to remain bullish about the profitability of metal commodity companies. And that's where I think we believe that even though it assumes cyclicality, I think that I think it is an opportunity in every fall, every correction to buy into the metal for the purpose of riding this particular boom that we are talking about.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do as what you like, but the market refuses to listen. We've had a green tick on the Nifty. We will start the monthly expiry on a green note and above 26,000. It essentially means that all the call writers will be very skittish at 26,000 and they will be really troubled. Will this be a day when the Nifty makes a very smart move, killing all call writers at 26,000 and 26,100? Will be visible in the first 15, 20, 30 minutes of trade, and those will be the most exciting ones. Devin bhai, before we let you go, uh, your own personal money and your view on gold. Where are you deploying fresh funds within your own personal portfolio? And at $26.83 an ounce, are all gold financing, all gold jewelry companies out of grasp for sensible investors?
Child, no gold. I believe that I think when you have got the fantastic opportunity investing into equity, probably gold is only used for the purpose of jewelry. I think for not for investment. Though investment wise also gold has given a decent return. I agree with it. But where your focus should be in contributing to the growth in the economy. And that's where I think you invest in the equity capital. And I believe that I think that is giving me a good satisfaction at the same time and also learning out of these businesses in which we invest. So yes, I think it's a growth in intellectual capital along with the financial capital, which is asking me to put my money into the equity as an investment asset class. Having said that, I think the personal money keeps on getting invested into select fundamental stocks, which we have been talking from time to time. Currently, the preference stays with the NBFC companies, the housing finance company, the some of the smarter banks who are basically capturing the fintech at the front end, and at the same time, I think the investment in the technology-led businesses, which are basically creating the differentiation. So I think yes, I think selectively we look at these companies from planning investment portfolio for next 5 to 10 years. That's what we like. I think we love to see the business growing over next 5 to 10 years.
Devin bhai, it is fine that you don't wear any gold ornament, which is absolutely okay because for at least 5, 7 decades that I am aware of your family, they have been equity investors. But how do you convince Mrs. Choksi not to buy gold?
They don't listen to Michelle anyway. No. So that part of the answer is very simply given. Whatever is required for the purpose of wearing the jewelry, I think every household individual buys that. I think they don't even ask me for that.
Well said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your Sakshi.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we do hope some tips are taken right there that women should not even ask for before buying gold jewelry right there because it is all for their consumption and for investment. Definitely, we can take the heat from what Devinsa has said. The other important space is the oil and gas space, which has actually seen a lot of traction in this past year, this year so far. Devinsa, now there is this talk about fuel cut, whether it will happen, and then there is this geopolitical tension that is over as an overhang as well. Crude oil prices completely volatile at this point in time. So easing supply concerns are right here, but at the same time, the tensions rising in the Middle East. How should one be really looking at the oil and gas story right now?
I think fortunately, this tension is not likely to escalate beyond a point. I think the world leaders are making every effort to cool down this particular situation. And if that happens, then in such situation, I think the crude oil prices are not likely to misbehave the way I think they would normally do in a given situation. So we are practically comfortable. In fact, I think last 2 years of war situation that one has seen, one has not find, I think, beyond a point an adversity into the crude oil price scenario. In fact, I think the logistic and the transportation possibly is the root cause vis-a-vis the wars. So from that point of view, I don't think that the crude oil prices, we have got a very bullish view anyway on this particular subject. And we believe that I think structurally crude oil prices cannot go down because the component of renewable is increasing in the energy bucket. So from that particular point of view, the crude oil prices are likely to remain I think moderate, as I call it as, and unlikely to create any kind of a panic or disturbance in the global energy space.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a green tick on the Nifty, 7 points higher. 26,000. A fresh journey begins above this level. The Nifty Bank mildly on the back foot, nothing to be worried about. IT has started strong, 90 points higher on the IT index, above 42,000, and Nifty 500 5 points higher, 24,380. Okay, let's look at stocks that are in the green. Infosys
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
Tata Motors are leading the charge on the Nifty. 1905 for Infosys, 4 rupees 40 higher on Tata Motors. What is slipping? Okay, ICICI Bank is the second heaviest weighted counter on the Nifty, 5 rupees 70 lower. Reliance 9 rupees lower. Axis Bank 4 rupees lower. TCS flat. And you have Kotak in the green. I'll be watching Kotak Bank and HDFC Bank with great interest in terms of rollovers, ladies and gentlemen. These are two stocks which might be outperformers in the month of October. Let's shift focus to FNO stocks. Top gainer, Trent, 2.7% higher. Kunal is with us. We'll just speak to him. 78.10 for you on Trent. IEX showing some signs of green after 2 days of battering. How about Gas Authority? About 1% higher. Godrej Properties, 1.5% higher. And Oracle Financial Services, 1% higher. Quickly, let's dive into the cash counters in the NSE 500. And you have amongst gainers Sona Comstar, 2.2% higher, 745. This could be the, how should I say, the positive brush of Karnataka's draft EV policy. You have again real estate doing pretty well. Bangalore based Prestige up 3%, Signature Global up 4%. You have a strong move coming into CAMS, Computer Age Management, 1.5% higher, 4488. The Nifty is now gathering strength. I would really be worried about the call writing that is happening on 26,000 Nifty. Those call writers will probably move away given the strength that is coming in. Overall, as far as the advanced decline ratio is concerned, you have a muted start. 1,100 shares in the green, 920 in the red. Sakshi and I track 20 indices for you out of 20. 14 are in the green, led by Realty Index. Please keep an eye out on Godrej Properties. IT Index, keep an eye out on Infosys, and of course, FMCG. Advanced decline on NSE 500 is negative. That means losers are more than gainers. Please keep this in mind. Let's get Kunal into the conversation. A very good morning to you, Kunal. A very quick one on Trent. Is this something to be chased?
Good morning, Sailji. If we look at the trend, the way stock has been trading since last many days, it has been trading above all its long-term moving averages. Right now, it is trading at 7841. Yes, definitely. The right now, the way stock has been trading. I think it's perfect level to get into the stock because stock has given a fresh breakout of its recent top. Somewhere around 7,510. So one can get into the stock at 7,850 with strict stop loss of 7,500. If we talk about upper side level, then first target would be somewhere around 8,100, and if stock breaks this 8,100, then further upside would be there up to the level of 9,100. So yes, one should chase this rally.
Okay, got it. Warm welcome to you, Kunal. Good to have you with us. Let's look at the key pockets that are buzzing. IT is coming back about 0.4% higher. Media stocks are still up and about. FMCG is coming back to about 0.3% higher in trade. Media, pharma stocks and autos. But half of the other sectors, there are still a big drag. Consumer durables, metals, broader markets are seeing some cuts. SBI Life is the top mover right now on the Nifty. Tata Consumer Products is inching higher as well. Maruti, Nestle, Bajaj Finserv and Shriram Finance are the top movers on the Nifty. While on the downside, we have stocks like Hero, ONGC, Hindalco, Tata Steel, NTPC. Trent, as we have discussed already, is 3% higher on the FNO space as the top mover right there. Maruti follows next along with SBI Life Insurance and IDFC right there. Kunal, how about the IT space particularly? Half odd percent higher, it's making a comeback. Do you think this is the space to be in today? Stocks like LTI, Mindtree, Tech Mahindra, HCL, Tech Wipro, they also showed signs of momentum towards the last half an hour of yesterday. Is the momentum going to be sustained?
Well, overall IT packs looks very good, particularly during today's trading session. If you talk about LTIM, HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra, all are trading at a good level. Particularly if you talk about LTIM, LTIM is taking support of its previous bottom, which is placed at 6,050 level, and even during yesterday's trading session, it made a high of 6,090. So we can say your stock is taking a support of its previous bottom. So one should get into the stock at 6,145 with the strict SL of 6,050. If we talk about upper side target, then no, first target comes at 6,240, and if stock breaks this 6,240, then further upside would be there up to the level of 6,400. So risk reward is perfectly favorable in this counter, so one should get for this stock.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we'll do is we'll focus on the 26,000 Nifty call expiring on 3rd of October. I'll request the PCR to try and focus on it. It is at 208 rupees. We'll just show it to you. There seems to be a lot of call unwinding now happening in the present expiry. So the thing to look forward to would be the 26,000 Nifty call expiring at 3rd of October. Let's see whether the PCR can show that or not. But gathering strength on the Nifty, 35 points higher. No, this is not the call that I am looking at. Okay, we'll again try and reboot it. This is trading at 207, 208. Maybe you can refresh the price because what you show is the closing price of yesterday. We'll come back to it, but this is something that needs to be watched because a lot of unwinding of 26,000 calls is happening in the present expiry of 26th September. Please keep this call in mind and let us see how it goes because a lot of short covering is most likely. The 26,100 Nifty call expiring 3rd of October is up 26 rupees at 152. Yes, these are the two calls that you need to keep an eye out on. And I'm requesting the PCR to also show the 26,000 call, which is at 208 rupees. These two calls we'll keep in track for the rest of the day. Now let's look at Sakshi, the stocks that are pulling up the Nifty for this 40-point uptick. I know that this is a time for caution, but price is price, and this is what needs to be checked. When you look at the pullers and draggers on the Nifty, for the moment, ITC and Infosys and TCS are pulling the Nifty higher, 8, 7, and 5 points respectively. Generally, what we have seen is that the first 15, 20 minutes are when the Nifty pauses, either it absorbs the gap up or goes through the gap down, and then it starts to reverse very sharply. Now let's look at stocks that have hit record highs. That will give you an idea where the money is moving in. Trend we've marked CESE. This is a low beta but deeply undervalued stock. This is the erstwhile Kolkata Electric Supply Company, now at 1.4% higher, 209. Given the thrust that we are seeing in the power space, Kunal, would you have a view on CESE?
Well, CLG, right now stock is trading at 209 and stock has a strong resistance at 210. No doubt stock made a high of 212 in today's trading session. But, if stock sustain about 210, then further upside would be there. So from my side, it's like wait to watch strategy would be like a fruitful. If stock sustain about this 210, then, we will get the confirmation of this breakout and, further upside momentum would be there for more than 20 to 25 rupees. So we can say that the 9 to 10% is the momentum that we can see after this 210. So at this level, one should wait. If it breaks 210, then only one should get into the stock.
Well, the Nifty and the Sensex have both hit record highs yet again. 26,051 is the new high that we have on an intraday basis. We're still hovering around 2639 odd levels, 35 points higher on the Nifty too. So that record run continues. And, some of the stocks that are actually buzzing are also from various sectors, including FMCG and autos that are also coming back. IT, of course, we've discussed real estate space is now picking up pace as well. Let's look at one stock from the F&O space, and that is IEX. Kunal, let's discuss this one because this stock has been, of course, a laggard over the last few days. It slipped about 17% in the past 2 days. There were reports about submission of the stimulation report by Grid India. Post with CERC will decide on market coupling timelines too. Some recovery happening today at 1.7%. Investec today has initiated long fast with a target price of 215. Do you think the overhang is going to continue to remain on IEX and it's better to be avoided right now? Or do you think the long-term trend will be still positive?
Well, I would say long-term trend will be in a positive only. No doubt, new specific momentum we saw in during last couple of session, but stock has a strong support of its 50 MA. Not only this, stock has a strong support of its recent top, which was placed at 199 or 200. And during yesterday's trading session, stock made low of 199.55. So one can say the stock has already taken the support of its previous top as well as 50 MA. So I would say this is like the perfect entry level for fresh for creating a fresh long position in the IEX. Right now it is trading at 206. One can get into the stock at 206 with strict SL of 199. We can see a bounce back up to the level of 215, and if it breaks, then 225 would be there.
Okay, got it. Let's look at the broader markets. The theme that we had picked up for all our viewers yesterday was the entire media and entertainment industry, especially the film industry and the music industry, those stocks that had actually garnered sharp moves in yesterday's trade. So again today there is a follow-up. Mukta Arts, it was nearly up by about 14-15% yesterday. Another 15% move can be seen in today's trading session. Tips Films was, I think, at a 20% circuit yesterday. It's now up another 11.5% higher. You can see Back Films, that's also in the thick of action, almost 8% higher in trade. Let's look at how Saregama is also looking at right now. And, stocks like Pritish Nandi Communications, these were the stocks that were all hovering on the limelight. Some dip on Saregama. Kunal, have you looked at the trend here? Does anything look promising to you, or this is a bounce based on some news which has actually not come to us so far?
Well, if we talk about Saregama, the way stock has been trading, and the way stock is performing right now, my view is like to just avoid this stock as of now. Right now, stock is trading at 600 level, down by 2.15%. So for the time being, I am just avoiding this stock.
Fair point. Saregama, of course, has been also in the news because of two very major concerts of music uh, yet to take place in India. One is, of course, Coldplay in Bombay, and you have Diljit Dosanjh in Gurgaon. So, a musical sort of interlude happening on capital markets as far as prices are concerned. But Saregama for you. This is again from the Sanjeev Goenka stable. So just look at it from this point of view. Saregama, CESE, First Source Solutions. These are the three companies from this particular group that are doing pretty well. And at this point of time, Saregama has a market capitalization of 11,800 crores and of course a revenue of 850 crores, earnings of about 191 crores. They have one of the largest music directories in India, and of course, they've made wonderful music for investors over a very long period of time. Very simply, if you look at the 5-year return on Saregama, it has appreciated 77% each year versus the 21% uptick on BSC Consumer Durables Index. So, a fabulous outperformer in the medium to long term. If you have been a shareholder, you've been very, very lucky. How about let's look at the new highs on the market? And Kunal, this is something that we need to look at. It is NTPC. Lot of activity going to happen on NTPC because it's a subsidiary NTPC Green will float a 10,000 crore rupee IPO come November. What are the charts of NTPC telling you at this point of time?
Well, right now stock is trading at 433 on a smaller time frame. It has been trading in an upward rising channel formation. Not only this, on a larger time frame, stock has already given a breakout of its recent top. So one can there is a proverb that sky has no limit. So this kind of momentum that we can see in the counter as of now, and but obviously positive sentiment would be there because this company's subsidiary is coming up with its IPO in November. So, but obviously momentum would be there, sentiment would be there. Right now, stock is trading at 433. One should get into the stock at present level with strict SL of 420, 420. If we talk about target size, then first target comes at 450, 445, which is like a hidden resistance. So if let's say stock break this hidden resistance, which comes at 445, then further upside would be there up to the level of 470. So yes, this stocks looks very good.
Yes. Please also keep in mind that despite a record high on NTPC, the valuations remain very, very attractive. Price to book is just 2.5. Even at this record level, the dividend yield is 1.9% and a PE of just 21 compared with the Nifty PE of 26, 27. So please keep NTPC in mind. This is one of the most wonderful stocks that you have for the moment, and it is going to show a lot of traction in the coming 1 or 2 months. Sakshi, what are you watching?
Right, Maruti Suzuki has now climbed to the top spot on the Nifty, 1.7% higher in trade. Tata Motors is also in the thick of action, 1% up in trade. Remember since yesterday we've been talking about the upcoming Hyundai IPO as well. Let's ask Kunal, if you can actually look at the present incumbent leaders also to be gaining from this upcoming IPO in the interim till the time it comes in October towards Diwali as well. Do you think the next few weeks will be important for traders to look at this basket as well?
Well, definitely it will be like the biggest IPO of Indian market history, but that is not going to change any sentiment, particularly our home automaker. The way all the stocks are trading right now, if you talk about Maruti, Tata Motors, Bajaj Auto, M&M, I can say that all the stocks may outperform the market because Maruti right now trading at 13,000 level, Tata Motors 974, M&M right now is trading at 3,085. So 2 to 3 stocks are there which looks very good to me, particularly based on the technical chart and particularly their ongoing portfolio that they are going to increase their model, particularly in EV side and particularly in hybrid sides. So right now Tata Motors is trading at 974. Now Tata Motors has already taken the support of its 100 days moving average and already taken the support of its previous bottom. So risk reward is perfect for this counter right now trading at 973. One should get into the stock at 973 with strict stop loss somewhere around 930. Now we can expect a bounce back up to the level of 1010, and it breaks this 1010, then further upside momentum would be there up to the level of 1100. And second stock is that M&M. Right now, stock is trading at 3,100. Now, stock has already given a breakout of its recent top. Stock has been trading in uncharted territory. From my perspective, this stock may touch to is 3,300. And if stock breaks this 3,300, then one way momentum would be there up to the level of 4,200. So yes, both stock looks very good on a daily chart.
Actually, one interesting thing I'll mark about Maruti. It's the top traded F&O counter today in stock futures. About 13,250 contracts have been traded, and the lot size, of course, is 50. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please keep an eye out on Maruti till the time you see Hyundai's IPO coming in. Let's look at the all-time high on Maruti. This is something that is looked forward to. The all-time high was on 1st of August, 13,700. So we are now about 7-8 weeks high on Maruti. I have zero doubt that the new high will be taken out. The earlier high will be taken out, and you'll have a lot of how should I say momentum coming into Maruti till you see Hyundai getting settled in the IPO space in the next 2 odd months. What else is buzzing? 9:35. The first 15-minute candle has been formed. The Nifty is in the green. When you look at the high on the Nifty today, it's at 26,056. So 26,050 will be something that resistance will be looked at. And of course, there will be a lot of back down from all the call writers that are there at 26,000, because now that is underwater. They will be unwinding. And we are looking at the 26,000 call of the Nifty expiring on October 3rd. That is something that you need to keep an eye out on. The last time we marked the price was 208. It is now 209.40. Please keep an eye out on this one. Kunal, what else are you tracking when it comes to prices in terms of the pharma space?
Well, one stock is there which looks very good to me. Particularly, I have been tracking this particular one stock, UPL, since long, and the way stock has been trading on a daily chart above all its short-term moving averages. Right now, stock is trading at 595. Recently, stock took the support of its 50 mm. So we can see a further bounce back from this level. So one should get into the stock at 595 with strict SL with a strict SL of 580. If we talk about upper side target, then first target comes as 620, and if stock breaks this 620, then 650 would be there. And the second stock is there, which even looks to me, it's HDFC Life. Recently we have seen a good upside momentum in insurance counters. SBI, if you talk about SBI Life, HDFC Life, even if you talk about general insurance as well. But particularly this stock looks very good to me because stock took the support of its 50 MA as well as it took the support of its recent bottom. Right now stock trading at 722. Strong support comes at 690. One should get into the stock with strict stop loss of 690. Upper side first target we can expect 745, and if stock breaks this 745, then one way momentum would be up to the level of 760 to 800. So these two stocks look very good on a daily chart.
Okay, let's also discuss some of the other pockets where we can actually see some move. Real estate space is also garnering some traction. We can see today stocks like Suntech Realty, Prestige Estates, Godrej Properties and Brigade are in thick action. Kunal, what looks good to you within the real estate SPAC particularly?
Well, no doubt today even realty stock are performing very good. Overall, realty sector right now is trading at 1134 level. But if you talk about particular stock, then Suntech and Godrej Properties both are performing very well in today's morning session. Let's talk on the Suntech. The way stock has been trading on a daily chart. It's already been up above its 100 days moving average, and it seems that it is going to give a breakout of its range bound momentum in which it was trading for more than 3 to 4 weeks. So right now stock is trading at 597. One should get into the stock at 597 with strict SL of 570. First target that we can see the counter, it's a 635, and if stock breaks this 635, then fresh breakout will be there, and based on which we may see further upside momentum up to the level of 700. Now let's talk on the second stock. It's Godrej Properties. The way particular stock is trading on a daily chart, since last 3 to 4 days stock, we have witnessed a one-way rally, particularly in this counter. Right now stock is trading at 3347 level, and upper side resistance comes at 3402. Now let's say if stock breaks this 3402, then one way rally would be there even up to the level of 3800. I am not talking about smaller momentum, but I am talking about more than 10% of momentum. So this should be in your watch list. If stock breaks this 3400, we can see good upside momentum up to the level of 3800.
Okay, got it. Let's also look at one more stock, that is Ease My Trip Planners. Remember yesterday the stock had seen a sharp beating, and this was with respect to the promoter stake sale that was taking place. Today the stock has recovered a bit. It's now up by about 4.5% higher in trade, now near the day's high point. Kunal, do you think the worst is now behind for this stock? Is there a trend that could sustain above 35? There are lots of investors that have been stuck at higher levels on this one. Do you think the overhang is done and dusted?
Well, definitely. Yesterday we saw sharp decline in the counters based on some new specific momentum was there. If we pull out the weekly chart, then stock has a strong support and multiple supports are there with the stock somewhere around 30, 32, 33. So and right now stock is trading at the 35 level, 35.80. So we can expect a bounce back based on the weekly chart support. One should keep strict SL at 30. No doubt SL is at bigger level, but we can expect a good bounce back as well. So one should keep strict SL at 30 level. Right now, stock is trading at the 35.80. Upside in bounce back, we can see 40 as a first target. And if stock breaks this 40, then further upside would be there up to the level of 44. So risk reward is perfect for this counter to create a fresh position as well as to create an average for for already holding position.
Let's look at some other parts of the market where very sensible but quiet work is happening, and bulls are very, very quietly building positions. It's Sun Pharma. Needless to say, there is a record high on Sun Pharma, but it's the very modest and quiet move that is coming on this particular counter, which deserves attention. I just want to show what are the rollovers on Sun Pharma. That will give an idea about the pace. Okay, 75% rollovers on Sun Pharma. Kunal, what are the charts telling you as far as Sun is concerned? It's a record high and it hasn't done anything at all in this month. So it's just gone sideways. But given the fact that we are at the end of expiry today, what are the weekly charts or the monthly charts of Sun Pharma telling you?
Well, Sailji, if we talk about weekly and monthly chart, we have already witnessed a strong breakout, and afterwards we are just seeing a follow-up momentum. But if we talk about daily chart, stock is just coming out of its range bound momentum in which it was trading for more than a 2 weeks. Right now, stock is trading at 1880 level, and the way rollover is happening, particularly in this counter, I think one should get into the stock at present level. Today is the monthly expiry as well for the counters, but this stocks looks very attractive on a daily chart. Right now it's trading at 1880. One should get into the stock at 1880 with strict SL of 1820, 1820. If we talk about target size, the way stock has been trading, first target comes at 1930, and if stock breaks this 1930, which will be acting like hidden resistance for the counter, further upside momentum would be there afterwards up to the level of 2000. So yes, with strict SL of 1820, one should get into the stock.
Okay, got it. Okay, let's pick up one stock from the FMCG pack which is garnering traction, and that is ITC. It's at a fresh high right now. Let's talk about this one, Kunal. How are you looking at the charts of ITC and what goes next? It's at a 521 level, which is a all-time high for this one now.
Well, right now stock is trading at 521. We have seen a good upside momentum. Not only this, on a weekly chart, it seems that the stock has already given a breakout of its flag formation. It has been trading in an uncharted territory to further fresh rhythm that we are seeing in the counter, and based on which further upside momentum would be there. Right now, stock is trading at 520. One should get into the stock at 520 with strict SL of 500. If we talk about target size and first target that we can see is 535, and if stock breaks this 535, then further upside momentum would be up to the level of 560. So yes, based on this today's chart, it looks very attractive.
Looks very attractive. 6.5 lakh crore rupees of a market cap now on ITC. Keep an eye out on that one. This is for the first time that the market cap for ITC has crossed 6.5 lakh crore levels as well. Within that, now remember viewers, there is a lot of volatility that's taking place on the markets. Only IT, FMCG and auto stocks are holding up into the green. Rest of the sectors have now seen some profits from the higher levels as well. Another space which is the IT space as well, Kunal, for you, again garnering further traction, mid cap IT or large cap IT, where do you find comfort right now?
But obviously, both the IT sectors are trading at a good level. But definitely, I'll take a comfort, particularly in mid cap. The way one stock is there, Tata Techno. The way this stock has been trading on a daily chart, we have seen a breakout on a daily chart. Right now, stock is trading at 1085. Stock already got a breakout of its 1045 level. It has been trading above its 50 MA. So this stock might take some time to perform, but risk reward is perfectly matching, perfectly in a favor of traders. So one should get into the stock at 1084 with strict SL of 1040. Upper side, we can see first target at 1140, and if stock breaks this 1140, then one way momentum would be up to the level of 1300. So in mid cap, IT Tata Techno looks very good, but if you talk about large cap IT, then Tech Mahindra looks very good at present level. Right now, stock is trading at 1680. No doubt, it has been trading in its range bound momentum, but it has been it is trading above its 50 MA as well. Price rhythm is there in the counter. One should get into the stock at 1608 level with with a strict stop loss of 1550. Upper side target we can see in the counter is first target is 1665, and if stock breaks this 1665, then further upside momentum would be up to the level of 1700.
Okay, got it. So that's as far as the IT space is concerned. Let's get back to the broader markets to see what else is moving in trade today. We have several stocks that are looking good. So you have stocks like Zaggle Prepaid that has been continuously in traction, that's moving up. Chaman Lal Setia exports from the rice space is also buzzing in trade. You also have Rainbow Children's Medicare, that's also up and about. Then you also have Prism Johnson, that's moved up almost 12%. Shell had pointed this out at a very early stage when the stock had just started to perform, and today again you are actually seeing a 12% surge coming back on this one as well. Let's get you to talk about some of these stocks right here, Kunal. One, tell us about Prism Johnson. How do you see this stock going forward? And the next one is Zaggle Prepaid, which has been in a continuous traction zone in the last 1 or 2 months. Or where do you see this stock headed?
Well, let's talk on this first. Prism Johnson. Right now, stock is trading at 238, and in past couple of sessions, stock made a high of 246. So stock has a strong resistance of 246. Now, at this point, at this juncture, if stock breaks, if the stock gives a breakout of this 246, then further upside momentum would be there. Up to the level of 300, and if stock breaks this 300, then 330 would be there. So yes, this stock looks good, very attractive, but let it use a breakout of 246, then only we will get into the stock. And may I know the second stock's name?
So I was talking about Zaggle Prepaid Ocean Services.
Okay. Right now, stock is trading at 456, 455. Stock has already given a breakout of its recent top, which was placed at 339, 393. And if you talk about a weekly chart, in a weekly chart, stock has been trading in an upward rising channel formation only. So trend is in a positive momentum only. Right now, stock is trading at 455. One should get into the stock based on the current momentum, which a strict SL of 415. Upper side first target we can see 495, and if stock breaks this 495, then further upside momentum would be there up to the level of 545.
Okay, let's shift let's shift focus to some other stocks. Five Star. This is the top traded counter. Of course, it's the block deal that has happened. 1 crore 35 lakh shares have been traded. 1097 crores worth of transactions done so far. Again, as I point out, the stock has done practically nothing for the last 9 months, not only underperforming its peer set, but also the main index which tracks NBFCs. So this is something to be looked forward to. By tomorrow, we will know the names of people who have purchased this, and then time will tell. Sakshi's masked Prism Johnson 12% higher. I'm waiting for a transaction to happen on Prism Johnson. We've been tracking this since 160 rupees, now at 239. Let us see when it comes forward to. I'd also like to mark a move that is coming into Elecon International, Elecon Engineering. We've discussed this stock earlier. 682. Remember, this is the split 1:1 that has already happened. 2.7% higher. Please keep this in mind. Volumes are favorable. 75% of 5-day average has been traded. And what else I would like to mark in NSE 100? Maruti, okay, crossed 13,000, 13,085 for you, 2% higher. Trent is now up 4%, ladies and gentlemen. No matter how much caution you advise, market is market, and Bhav Bhagwan hai. Okay, possibly a digit change in the offing today. Let us see whether we see 8,000 or not. But extremely, extremely stretched on valuations and charts. Only time will see when you will have a time correction. Anything interesting that I would like to point out? Okay, Bajaj Finserv. Okay, this is a stock that will be moving out of the Nifty on September 30th and is at a record high 1934. Lots of moves happening in life insurance plays. Kunalji, a medium term outlook on this low beta counter Bajaj Finserv?
Well, I think we already discussed previously on this stock, and right now stock is trading at 1935, and we discussed about the stock when it was trading at 1700. Right now stock is trading at 1935. Stock is giving a breakout of its flag formation on a daily chart. Not only this, on a weekly chart, stock is near to give a breakout of its previous top, which is placed at 1935. So let's say if stock breaks this 1935, then one side momentum would be there to the level of 2250. So if anybody want to create a fresh position, particularly in this counter, then wait and watch would be like a fresh, would be like a fruitful strategies. If stock breaks this 1935, then only one should get into the stock for one way momentum, which we can see in the counter up to the level of 2250.
Got it. So that's as far as Bajaj Finserv is concerned. But Kunal, are you also looking at the entire NBFC space as a whole and the broking space as a whole too? There have been some fabulous moves in the last series as well in this entire space. And even today, many of these stocks are still holding up into the green. Not massive moves, but definitely up to 2, 3, 4% higher in trade. What looks good to you within the NBFC pack?
Well, if we talk about overall NBFC pack, the way particularly this financial sector, performing, it looks very good, and I think we have seen a very good upside momentum, particularly in IT, then FMCG, and then private banking. Right now, this NBFC is performing. I think this in cyclical momentum based on this NBFC, I think our Nifty further perform very at a good level. And among this, NBFC Bank, Sriram Finance, looks very attractive at this level. Stock is trading at 3535. Daily chart. Uh, I think the way stock has been trading, I think one should get into the stock at 3535 level with a strict SL of 3450. If we talk about target size, then first target comes as 3600, which is previous top as well. And if stock breaks 3600, then further upside momentum would be there up to the level of 3700. So this Sriram Finance looks very attractive on a daily chart.
Okay. We were talking about this Tata Group company Trent, which is at a fresh high. There is another company from the Tata stable which is at a fresh high, and that is Tata Communications. It started to pick up pace yesterday. We had touched base upon this stock as well. It was one of the top movers in the FNO space yesterday towards the closing of the session. Today, again, there is some momentum that's building on, about half odd percent higher in trade at 2140, and this is record high levels for Tata Communications. How are you looking at this stock currently, Kunal?
Well, Tata Communications right now trading at 2140 level. Stock has already given a breakout in yesterday's trading session. Okay, breakout level was 2080, and stock is trading above this level with above this volume that we have seen that breakout. So we can expect a strong upside momentum in the counter. Right now stock is trading at 2140. One should get into the stock at 2140 level. Downside strong support comes at 2080. So let's keep 2050 as a strong support. Upper side first target that we can see is 2210, and if stock breaks this 2210, then further upside momentum would be there up to the level of 2350. Means more than 9 to 10 percentage of momentum that we can see in the counter. So yes, risk reward is very favorable for this counter. One should get with strict SL of 2050.
9:54, ladies and gentlemen. The first 30-40 minutes of trade have been beneficial for the Nifty for its monthly expiry. Remember, not only has it held above 26,000, but it continues to trade above that level, which is not good news for all those call writers who have been there at 26,000 and 26,100 in particular. Taking away the gains in the Nifty is Maruti. In driver's seat, as far as prices are concerned, now about 3.5% higher. This is a very positive development because after many weeks and months, you have seen the mojo coming back. The second top gainer is Tata Motors, 1.3% higher, 976. Remember, there is also that draft EV policy that the Karnataka government has come out with, where it will offer incentives to all electric four-wheelers, all electric vehicles that are below 20 lakh rupees, and therefore you see this enthusiastic trade happening in Tata Motors as well. Kunal, 976, Tata Motors 1.3% higher. What are the charts telling you?
Well, Selji, in automakers, in home ground automakers, we already suggested two stock, M&M and Tata Motors. Right now, stock is trading at 975, and I think this stocks looks very attractive on a daily chart because stock has already taken the support of its previous bottom. Not only this, stock has a strong support of its long-term moving averages as well. And the way this particular home ground car maker is coming up with new models and new features, I think demand will be there for these car makers cars. Right now, stock is trading at 975. One should get into the stock with strict SL of 950. We can see a good upside momentum in the counter up to the level of 1020, and if it breaks, then further upside would be there up to the level of 1550. So risk reward is very much favorable to creating a long position.
Okay, got it. Let's start winding up the morning edition now, viewers. So we are already at about 34 points uptick on the Nifty, 26,041. But the action remains, concentrated in IT, FMCG, the Nifty Auto Index, and the Nifty Next 50. Rest of the sectors have actually all slipped into the red. Life insurance space, as already has been highlighted, is one of the buzzing spaces. Some of the FMCG names, IT names, and some pharma names also contributing to the gains in today's trading session as well. Let's look at within the Nifty Next 50, if we can spot any interesting name before we let Kunal go that he can talk about as well. Power space particularly for you, Kunal, we haven't discussed. Yesterday it was the day for Power Grid, NTPC. These had been garnering momentum. Tata Power looks up today, about 0.5% of gains can be seen on this one. Does power theme still have a lot of legs, and where do you think would you place your bets even now?
Well, we have seen a very good upside momentum, particularly in power counters. If you talk about Tata Motors or Tata Powers, and if you talk about other power counters as well. Right now, the way all the stocks are trading, I think Tata Power, I think Tata Power may good. It looks very good on a daily chart. Right now, stock is trading at 470 level, and as per the daily chart, stock has already given a breakout of its 450. Right now, stock is trading at 470. One should get into the stock with strict SL of 450. Our side first target that we can see is a 520, and if stock breaks this 520, then further upside momentum would be there up to the level of 600. So from the power sector, I think this stock looks very good with strict SL of 450.
Okay, got it. Well, what we will do is we'll start winding up the show now. Many thanks, Kunal, for being with us on this very special edition to share with us all your thoughts right there. The Nifty hovering around 26,044 odd levels. And again, look at the key stocks that are on the driving seat. You have Maruti Suzuki, 2.7% higher. Tata Consumer Products, Tata Motors, Eicher Motors, SBI Life, HDFC Life as among the top movers on the Nifty. On the downside, you have stocks like Hero Moto, Oil and Natural Gas, Power Grid, NTPC, Bharat Petroleum as among those top drags today. F&O space, clearly the stock that we have been talking about right from morning is Trent. That needs to be watched out for, 4.2% higher, the top mover there. Maruti also inches higher, 3.3% up. IEX, Tata Consumer Products are the other gainers. On the downside, Crompton Greaves Consumer is still down by 4.8%. Your Manappuram Finance and Chambal Fertilizers as the top drags right there. With that, we will wrap up on this note, but do stay tuned on to Business Today television viewers to stay with us to catch all the buzzing action on D Street throughout the course of the day. Stay tuned.
What attracts your attention in the Indian universe of gold stocks? Is it gold financing companies? Is it jewelers? Is it